Well, I'm Kristian Coulthard, Wundayanang Nura Inangangaplayeta. Good to have you on country. I'm at Wadna. Wadna's the Adnyamathanha name for boomerang. Wadna's a little shop just outside of Blinman. We do cultural tours and we've got a wide range of beautiful arts and crafts. We do cultural immersions, cultural tours in the region, so teach people about Yuramura, our history here, so very special little place at Wadna. Yeah.
I'm Gini Lee. We are meeting here in the Flinders Ranges, where I'm very fortunate to live. But in my life, I am also Professor of Landscape Architecture, and I am a member of the South Australian Heritage Council. There are the typical ways of understanding heritage, which is works from the past, valued by the general public, valued by people, recognised as being important signifiers of past lives and past endeavours, as well as a scientific record as well.
When I hear the term heritage, I think of a whole range of issues. I think cultural heritage is foremost for me because of my Adnyamathanha and Walpi heritage. I think of traditional owners as in, that part of the heritage of the landscape. We've been a part of this country for, generations and generations and tens of thousands of years. So that's what I think about when I think of heritage.
But once you delve into heritage, you see how dynamic it is and how multifunctional and multi-purpose. I did some research once into waterholes, the heritage of waterholes. And I realised that it's a very much a multi-layered landscape in heritage and many different overlappings, and sometimes people don't really realise that they're looking at heritage.
I also think about the broader view of heritage and whether it become, natural heritage like Adnyamathanha, Adnyamathanha, or, cultural heritage like, Yuramulka, our markings and our art sites, but even our social history, some of the stuff that happened when, settlement happened and missionaries, and some of the truth-telling stuff, about, colonisation and some of the massacres that happened. But then you look at the mining history and the heritage of the area. You look at the Afghan influence in the area that married into some of our mob married into them. So that's the whole story about Australia and the Outback area. And it's really important that we come together under the one umbrella, like Adnyamathanha. Adnyamathanha is an umbrella name, Walpi, Pritatapa, Quani, Dadliawara, Bangala. So it's really good that we all come together under that heritage banner.
No, it's interesting, isn't it, when you're starting to look at the layers of landscape over time and the layers of heritage over time and the activities that went there. What's so interesting, actually, if I just talk about the Heritage Register, is that underlying the Heritage Register is deep research into what went on and why it is like not only the fabric of the place or the fabric of the landscape or area, but also why it is the way it is and what constitutes its importance over a series of different criteria. It's really critically important that when we look at a place, we start to say, what's happening behind this? Why has this come together? And it includes the good stories and the bad stories. It's all part of this history. I've got a little story where this idea of a continuing heritage is here where I live, there's a massive windmill. And when we had to change the Oratunga windmill because it broke and it was too hard to keep it going, but the bore was still there, we put in a solar pump. And at the time that was happening, when everybody was out fixing the windmill and saying, well, you could probably sell this windmill, you don't need it anymore, it's sitting there. But it's really important. And I went over to speak with my Aboriginal friends, and these are elders, Adnyamathanha elders, and I said, they're suggesting that we should really sell that. And they said, you can't sell that. That's our windmill too. Our stockmen were here. This was a part of our heritage. That windmill is part of our heritage. You can't sell that. And it struck me, and it stayed with me, that you cannot assume that one person's heritage is not somebody else's, at the same time, but potentially for different reasons.
A lot of people see a ruin and go, wow, that's amazing. A lot of people don't realise, they see a circle of stones on the ground and don't realise that that's one of our ruins. That's been here longer than that old chimney. A chimney to me is a sign of, a ruin is a sign of failure. It's something that they couldn't deal with the hardship and they walked away from it. But when you see a circle of stones that's part of an old ongu, an old camp, or a ceremonial circle of stones, that's even older. And a lot of people don't realise that by picking up that stone and moving that stone to around the campfire, they're actually damaging a traditional site. So it's really important that the message comes across that heritage comes in lots of different forms. Taking this landscape and using it as a broader picture, using it as a whole. Tell the whole story, not just one part of it, because it is an amazing story of our region, the Outback.